Seen so many clips.
This is clean?
I've seen so many clips. I've watched boxing my whole life. If this shot here, let me explain.
My body shake because you punch here.
And your belt is high.
Bro,
Can I ask you something?
I've watched boxing my whole life.
Did you ever get hit in the
Of course,
past?
that's why I'm saying, because I fight. I've done 250 rounds with Fury.
I've watched this a lot, this clip, from various angles. My understanding, Daniel, is that the law says if it's the belt line, a punch, it's legal.
Yeah.
From that angle, from other angles, it looks to me, I'm not an expert, but it looks to me like you hit him on the belt.
As the rematch between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois draws near, one controversy still lingers in the minds of boxing fans: the infamous body shot. But let's get real. It wasn't just that punch that ended Dubois' night. It was the relentless pressure.
This body shot. It's not only one punch. It's not only one. You punch every time. Don't worry. Take it easy, buddy.
I'm coming for you.
Dubois went down clutching his torso and never got back up. It wasn't the response of a champion. It looked more like a man searching for the nearest exit. Legal or not, that moment revealed something deeper than injury. It exposed a psychological crack. Usyk didn't need theatrics. He needed precision. And with one calculated strike, he did.
Daniel Dubois as a fighter, that he's got what it takes to be successful against Alexander.
Didn't just rattle Dubois' ribs, he shattered his reputation. Dubois' trainer, Don Charles, erupted in fury after the fight, accusing Usyk of selling the shot like an actor and calling it the performance of the year. According to Charles, Usyk played possum, duped the referee, and robbed Dubois of a career-defining victory. But here's the truth. If that shot was so clean, why didn't Dubois...
It's not my problem. A referee makes situation like this. It's not referee, okay, thank you. Daniel say, hey, I win. Bro.
Finish the job. Instead, Usyk stood up, shook off the controversy, and dismantled Dubois piece by piece. No amount of post-fight outrage from Don Charles can drown out the cold facts. Usyk dominated when it mattered. Heading into this rematch, there are no promises of drama, only destruction. Usyk has
I consider this fight to be way more dangerous for Usyk than the previous one. Now we see Daniel Dubois, not a prospect.
Addressed the low blow controversy not with loud rebuttals, but with icy detachment. No rants, no debates, just a calm deference to the rulebook. To him, that night wasn't marred by controversy. It was a masterclass in timing, tactics, and toughness. As far as Usyk is concerned, the body shot debate is nothing more than a smokescreen, a weak excuse for a man who crumbled under pressure.
Heavyweight being the champion of the world now, and he's on his way up. Where Usyk is in his 37 is in a top position now. Yeah, so there is no other.
But this time, things are different. Even I'd argue this fight is more dangerous for Usyk than the last. Dubois is no longer a raw prospect or a wide-eyed contender. He's older, stronger, more experienced, and he's offering more than a repeat. He's promising devastation. But Usyk doesn't see revenge coming his way. He sees another breakdown in the making. Still,
like I say, Daniel Dubois is a machine, and I back Daniel Dubois. If he was fighting anybody else other than Alexander Usyk, I'd...
fight machine around Dubois is firing on all cylinders. Promoter Alex Krasyuk is leading the charge, claiming Dubois is now refined, matured, and a legitimate threat to the throne. But don't mistake that praise for belief. It's bait. Krasyuk knows exactly what Usyk does to threats. The louder the hype, the harder the fall. Others have joined the chorus. Alex Kachuk calls Dubois a dangerous young lion, 27 years old and already a former world champion, contrasted with the 37-year-old Usyk, who remains at the peak of his brilliance.
Capable of flattening opponents with sheer force.
It's a good time. I mean, a little bit of inactivity because of the fight falling through against Joseph Parker, but, you know, it's exciting. And I think definitely...
His recent transformation has only amplified the belief that he can steamroll through the ranks. Grit, growth, and maturity now define the narrative around him. But the moment Alexander Usyk enters the conversation, the tone shifts dramatically. Even Duke McKenzie, who praises Dubois as a rising juggernaut, concedes the reality. Usyk isn't just another challenge, he's the final boss. Dubois might dominate lesser fighters with his brute strength, but against someone as cerebral, composed, and precise as Usyk, he's entering a
chance for Daniel Dubois to go down in British sporting folklore and to go and do the business, reverse that
different game entirely. This isn't a brawl, it's a chess match, and Usyk is the grandmaster. In this type of fight, ambition alone isn't enough. Every misstep gets punished, every weakness is exploited. Supporters like Eddie Hearn have tried to stay positive, casting Dubois' comeback in a hopeful light, but even his words reek of quiet hesitation. Hearn's talk of redemption and second chances feels more like PR than passion. Beneath the surface, there's an unspoken truth. Dubois is walking straight into a storm. That humiliating collapse against Joseph Parker wasn't just a minor setback, it was
individual because he's older and wiser, comes from a completely different background. But Daniel Dubois is growing into himself. This will be one hell of a fight. This will be a proper fight, like all of the Usyk fights.
A brutal exposure of the cracks in his game. Add a long layoff to the equation, and you've got a fighter potentially slower, rustier, and mentally vulnerable. Usyk, by contrast, is razor sharp. A war-tested, battle-hardened tactician, he thrives under pressure and bright lights. Amir Khan tried to show respect to Dubois, acknowledging his power and growth, but even he couldn't mask the truth. Usyk is simply operating on a different level. Too intelligent, too calm under fire, too surgical with his offense. Dubois might be chasing redemption, but Usyk is preparing to deliver another masterclass. This time,
he's a good fighter. He's a hard fighter to beat. And I think he'll learn from the mistakes he made in the first fight against Usyk, and it will give him a hard fight. Look, he has the tools to win that fight.
It's the performance of a lifetime.
Without any controversy. Still, Frank Warren is doubling down. He's billing July 19th as a career-defining moment for Dubois, a golden opportunity to flip the script and carve his name into British boxing history. Warren isn't just promoting a fight, he's selling a resurrection. To him, Dubois is fighting not just for titles, but for pride, purpose, and the chance to silence every critic who wrote him off after the Usyk and Parker defeats. He's betting it all on one night, but boxing doesn't deal in fairy tales. Usyk isn't here to be part of someone else's comeback story. He's here to dismantle.
He's going to start flipping tables and kicking off and this, that and the other. He's going to play a few little games and mind games and that. But aside from that, pretty chill.
Hope with precision. For Dubois to not only survive but win, he'll need the performance of a lifetime. Warren believes the right mindset can flip the narrative, but mindset alone doesn't defeat a master tactician like Usyk. Simon Jordan adds fuel to the fire, framing this not merely as a title fight, but a generational clash. He praises Usyk's elite IQ and footwork, while casting Dubois as a reawakened force, calculated, dangerous, and driven by vengeance. Jordan doesn't see this as pride, legacy, and blood are all on the line, and through it all, Usyk remains unshaken. There's no table flipping or...
It's a different machine.
Self-confidence will be...
And time waits for no man, as the saying goes. I just think that this is a fight that's exciting. It's a good fight. You've got to make Usyk the favourite, but it's a fight that Daniel Dubois can definitely win.
It might not...
Or trash-talking theatrics at press conferences. Just quiet mind games and unspoken menace. His calm demeanor masks a deadly intent. This isn't just a rematch, it's a crossroads for the entire division. Amir Khan has again thrown his support behind Dubois, praising his evolution since the punishing loss to Usyk. He sees a more calculated and mature heavyweight, one forged in defeat, now ready to rise. But even Khan doesn't sugarcoat the task ahead. Dubois may be stronger, wiser and more determined, but against a fighter like Usyk,
I feel he knows and he's grown in confidence since that. I mean, he's in a great place, Dubois, and he can win that fight. He's a big natural.
Strength alone may not be enough to climb the mountain in front of him. When facing a tactician as refined and mentally impenetrable as Alexander Usyk, this isn't just a clash of power, it's a test of intelligence, timing and psychological warfare. Boxing analyst Masatuma echoes that sentiment, stressing this bout is less about brawn and more about brains. Usyk isn't simply defending a title, he's preserving a legacy forged through flawless execution and clinical dismantling of world-class opposition. Dubois may arrive with fire in his fists, but unless he brings near perfection, he risks suffering another calculated, merciless defeat. Against Usyk, one mistake is often one too many. Fabio Wardley takes the analysis deeper, recognizing Dubois' growth and newfound confidence. He acknowledges that Dubois is in a better place mentally and physically, describing him as a big natural heavyweight who can win this fight. Yet even as he gives Dubois his due, Wardley doesn't shy away from painting a chilling portrait of Usyk's psychological dominance. To Wardley, Usyk is the most cold-blooded technician in the sport, an executioner who doesn't need chaos to thrive. He doesn't roar, he waits, calculates, and suffocates opponents with eerie silence. That calm demeanor, Wardley warns, is Usyk's deadliest weapon. While Dubois wears his emotion on his sleeve, Usyk remains an enigma, unshaken, unreadable, and always several steps ahead. Underestimate his serenity, and you'll miss the storm hidden beneath. This isn't checkers, it's chess, and Usyk is already 10 moves ahead. Carl Froch, never shy with his takes, is rallying behind Dubois, hyping him as a reborn beast, ready to shock the world. He speaks of redemption, power and transformation, but beneath the enthusiasm there's a flicker of doubt, like a man hoping for a miracle, but bracing for disaster. Froch knows what Usyk is capable of. His
of Dubois is unstoppable. But here's the hard truth. No amount of aggression can outthink elite experience. While Tibbs banks on brute force, Usyk brings superior footwork, perfect timing, and world-class composure. Usyk has dismantled pressure fighters before, and he'll do it again. Not with chaos, but with control. He's not preparing for a war. He's preparing a masterpiece. One mistake from Dubois, and Usyk will freeze the fire out of any comeback story with precision so cold, it will leave no room for redemption. As the war drums thunder toward July 19th, one truth grows clearer. Daniel Dubois isn't just entering a fight, he's stepping into a storm. And that storm